So I've had the Fringe Raptor bike for just over a year, almost about a year and a half now. And I'm here to give you my thoughts on 1 year of having the Fringe Raptor air bike. And is it worth the purchase? Should you get this one versus some of the other competitive models? I'm going to run down some of my pros and cons and what I think about it and give you my ultimate thought later on. Lots of pros, one very huge glaring con. Let's just go over what the Fringe Raptor bike is, a little bit about the specifics, and then get into my thoughts on it. So I bought this about, like I said, a year and a half ago. This is the beginning of 2022, shortly after the Fringe Raptor came out. I saw a review by Coop on Garage Gym Reviews, very awesome review, and it really got me thinking, debating on what I wanted to do. It was between the Fringe Raptor and the Rogue Echo. At the time when I bought this, it cost me $755. I think at the time the Echo bike was a little bit more. It was about $100 more. Maybe it might have been about $800, something like that. I just went online now. This on Fringe's website has now gone up to $1,000, and the Rogue Echo bike is about $845 to $895, about $900. So the Fringe is now more expensive. I got it. One of the reasons why I got it is it was a little bit cheaper, and everything else was pretty much awesome. So it being more expensive now, that definitely factors in. It's about $100 difference, so we'll see if anything makes up for it. With why I got it versus the Echo. The assault bike was never really an option for me because I've never really liked the assault bike. It's much more of a smaller frame, and it always felt a bit more janky and rickety. But the Fringe Raptor, it is a heavy bike. It is completely steel made, and it is very, very sturdy, but it's a much smaller profile. So the Echo bike is also completely steel, very heavy, very sturdy, but it's much bigger. It's very, very hefty, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But usually with garage spaces, you like to take up as little space as possible. And while the Echo doesn't take up a ton more room, this one still has a little bit less of a profile to it, especially with the arms. The arms on the Echo bike are pretty huge and stick out. So it's also fan or belt driven, so it's not chain. There's no oil that you have to do. There's no maintenance like that. The blades on the fans are steel as well, so should last a very, very long time. As of right now, it has lasted completely perfectly fine. Nothing has been amiss at all. The seat adjustments are good. You know, it goes up pretty high, especially for like taller people. I'm about 6 foot, just under, and there's still plenty of room to go. There's also the seat adjustment forward and backward that works just fine as well. It does come standard with the water bottle holder, which is whatever, the fan guard, and the turf tires, and of course the monitor. So getting into the pros, while that's because it's related to this, big pro to me is the fan guard and the turf tires. Love those, especially because when you have garage gym, especially you're going to have cooler months. On the hotter months, the breeze might be fine, but warming up with the cooler breeze when it's 40s, 50s, that breeze is very chilly, very unwelcoming. And there's been times now that I've used the Rogue Echo bike after having this, and I love this fan guard. Like, it is such a small thing, but because it comes built in standard with it, you don't have to buy add on to it. That is awesome. Turf tires are also even better because you can move them around so much easier. All the bikes are going to have the little tiny tires on the front to where you can move it around some. If you're just having it on your cement on your garage, that's fine. I actually like taking mine outside to like the street, get some sun, doing those sorts of things. If you like to move it around some, I think the option of the turf tires is fantastic to have. I absolutely love it. Even though I don't move it a ton, it's just great to have. Water bottle holder is whatever. I don't think anybody is going to be on an assault bike all that long to need water, but it's there if you want it. And the monitor, this is also a very small thing. The monitor has a lip for you to put your phone in. So like warming up, or I'll do a 15-minute zone 2 cool down on the bike, and I can set my phone there just to have. You don't need to have the phone there, but it's nice to have that lip on it versus, or even like if you want to change music on the Echo bike, you have to either put it in your pocket, set it on the floor, or something you can't, and you're kind of just stuck. And it's very small, but I think it actually does make a bit of a difference. So these are very small things that when I had the Fringe and the Echo, at least cost-wise, on a level playing field, it pushed it over the edge. And this is why I bought it. That $100 difference, now you have to decide for yourself. But it is holding up perfectly well. It is fantastic. Building it was at times a struggle, I will say. The connecting the turf tires was honestly the hardest part because it has to connect to the bottom feet. That was really, really frustrating. These weren't too bad. The arms, this one got a little bit loose some, but it has held up fantastically for a year and a half, and I've really, really enjoyed it. Now, let's talk about my one huge, big negative that might sway you to change your mind a little bit. I mean, any little thing can change your mind, and that is these monitors are complete crap. So this is the original monitor that I got. I can see it's not attached. There's another one on there. This is the original monitor that I got. It stopped working. The ups and down arrows stopped working. So whenever I would try and do an interval, doing a custom interval here, I can go up, but I can't go down. The down arrow stopped working. So I hit enter to the next phase. I can turn the time up. The down arrow stops working. So this one, only the down arrow stopped working. I can't get it to work. I can't set an interval. So all you can do is up, which is kind of a pain if you want to actually customize and set your intervals. Kind of minor. However, this new monitor, so I got this monitor about 2 months after that one broke or the down arrow stopped. They sent me a new one. This one, it's taped at the top, so it's probably used. And now, pretty much none of the buttons work on this monitor. So it's even worse than the first monitor. And like I can barely even hit enter, and when you first set up the bike, you have to hit enter your age or else you can't use it. So the enter button has to work. So sometimes I have to smash it if it's completely like has to reset. But if not, like I go to the custom intervals, ups and down arrows don't work, starts, stops doesn't work, enter doesn't work, nothing works on the monitor for the buttons wise. For the lower buttons wise, the side buttons are fine. The monitor itself will read. It still does time perfectly. It still does your calories, your speed, your RPM. Everything else is very, very good, and it is very reactive. So that is a positive, is that the monitor is very reactive. As soon as you step on the pedal, it's going. You're starting off timer 0 at 1, 0. There's some other ones where you start pedaling and it might take 5 seconds and then you're going. So if you don't really care about using the buttons and setting intervals and needing that, then the monitor itself is fantastic for reacting. And nowadays, I mean, I don't really need to do the intervals as much. You just do it on your phone, and that's fine. It's just kind of an annoyance, especially because like the monitor should work. But it still reads everything probably fine for calories and for time. I just reached out to Fringe again to start a dialogue to once again get a third monitor, and maybe this one will work. We'll see. I might just swap it with the old one because at least some of the buttons still work. So the monitor is the biggest downfall, and it's, in all intents and purposes, it's pretty minor because everything else still works perfectly fine. You can still get on the bike. It's still going to take you time, calories, RPMs, all of those things. It's fine as long as you just do intervals on your own. It's just nice to have that. But turf tires, fantastic to have. The fan guard, also fantastic to have. The seat is actually pretty comfortable. It's kind of along the lines of the Echo bike comfort. You know, that seat's a bit bigger, maybe a little more comfortable, but like how long are you going to be on a fan bike? So I'd say after a year and a half, and even with the price hike, I think Fringe Raptor is still a top competitor, great addition to add to, you know, to go against Echo. Echo, you're still, you know, it's a rogue product. It's going to be great quality, so you can't really go wrong there. I did see Assault has a new Pro version 2, which it's a bit bigger, more robust. Maybe it's a bit more sturdy because the original Assault bike to me is super, super flimsy, and like it just feels a bit janky to me, and it was always more expensive. But now the original Assault bike is down to like $700, but the newer Assault bike the Pro 2 is at $900. So you're going to be spending $900 to $1,000 on these bikes. I will also say that these are sold out right now, so maybe there's something in it that people are liking, or they just can't keep up with the demand. But overall, I think this is one of our best buys. We use this almost every day for warming up myself and my wife. I use it today on a 15-minute Zone 2 cooldown for intense intervals. It's fantastic for it. We still have a rower. I still have a regular spin bike as well, and I'm still using this constantly. The tires are great for being able to roll it outside. So I think this is a great purchase. I think if you're looking for an Assault bike, if you don't want to go secondhand, which is completely fine and great, if you really want to have something that will last, Fringe is right up there with the Rogue Echo, and you get a couple of little bonuses as well. So I wonder if anybody out there has the Fringe Raptor, if you've run into the monitor problems, or if you've liked it, how it's held up for you. If you've compared it with other models, let me know what you think, and let's talk more about the equipment and stuff down in the comments.